Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. You guys, today we're going to be building a brand new build, obviously, duh. We are going to be making two different types of apartments, and I've been doing this recently since we got like the whole for rent pack. I've done a couple. I'll kind of put it up here if you guys want to check them out. They are really cute and I really love the ones that I did. I also did one that was just purely base game, so if you want to check that out, I will also have that in the description down below. But today, you guys, we are going to be doing like of course, we're gonna do kind of like a Japan style one, and then maybe like a more modern-ish Japanish style one. So the one that you're seeing right now, that one is gonna be the more modern style, and then we also have the other one that's gonna be on the right side, and that one's gonna be a little bit more traditional. Now, I pray that my mic is actually working with me today, because if you guys have seen my most recent video, my mic was like all over the place. It was awful. You can't see what I just did, but my hands was like I look like I was like, you know when people put their hands in like something or like dirt and they just kind of like move their hands in the dirt and then out. It looked like I was just like playing with like salad or something. I don't know how I got dessert to salad, but you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, can't see me, but anyway, my mic was just going crazy, and the weird thing is that I didn't hear it like when I was recording, because the problem is that when I actually do a recording, my voice is being like kind of traced back to me as soon as I say something, so I have to have like my headphones down all the way, or else I'm gonna start stuttering and talking. Like if I turn it up right now, and I have it up currently, so I can hear my echo back and forth, and it's a little hard. I can't do it, so I'm gonna turn that back down because it's a little easier for me. But it was really funny. I think I saw a comment and they're like, oh, your voice is so sweet, but like your mic is like, and I'm like, yeah, pretty much, I'm sorry. But I hope that you guys are doing well. If you guys heard about the story that I was telling you guys about the other day about me getting a job opportunity with my grandma, that is, that's done. That's done. So that is no longer a thing. And for the people that are coming in now, let me just like fill you in. I'll just fill you in like really quickly. So basically, I got offered a quote unquote job to be with my Nana and her boyfriend for like a year, kind of like a PSW. And if you guys don't know what a PSW is, it's basically someone who will go out, at least to my understanding, is someone will go out to a house and basically they're there to take care of those people with like medications, with anything like feeding, anything, all those things under the umbrella of basically them taking care of those people. And I was offered, before they did like a full-on talk, I was offered to do that, and I'm like sitting here, and at first I was like, man, like the money would be great. But then I'm like, okay, well, what if something were to happen? I'm like, that's a little scary. My Nana, she's like 80 something, I think like 86 or 87, and her boyfriend, Al, he's 90 years old, but they don't look or act like they're 90 years old. Like I'm pretty good. Like I want to knock on wood. They don't take any medication right now. They're relatively pretty healthy. But they get very confused. So I'm like sitting here and I'm like, I don't know if that's like the best idea. And my mom, 'cause she basically just like called me out of nowhere. And she's like, you want to make so-and-so a week? Call me back. And then she like hung up. I was like, whoa, like, am I in a movie? Like what's happening here? So that happened. And so apparently the family talked together and they just decided not to go through with it. So I was like, okay, let's not do that then. That's gonna throw behind us, you know? So in a way, I'm kind of relieved because that would be a lot of work, and I feel like I would actually I think it'd be nice to spend time with my Nana for that period of time, but I feel like that would be very draining. Like I remember going over there, and you know how like when you get older, you forget things or you miss certain things, like say you're going to the bathroom and people don't aim properly, so you have to clean that. Like, I know, I'm sorry. If any of you are eating, I'm so sorry. sorry. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just those little things. But for the money I was offered, I mean, I even told my boyfriend Alex, and he was like, man, I do it with my own berry toothbrush. I was like, nope, let's not do that with your own toothbrush, thank you. But yeah, so that didn't happen anymore, and I'm still waiting for this opportunity that I have that's closer to Alex. And if any of you guys don't know, Alex is my boyfriend of 5 years. He also has a YouTube channel, so I can also have that down below, or you guys can check actually on my main page, and he's like the very first one. His name is Maz Gameplays. He just hit over 1,000 subscribers, and he does a lot of variety gaming. So if you guys, oh sorry, that was my dog. That was Togo. If you guys did hear that bark, I'm so sorry. But yeah, he does a lot of variety gaming. So if you want to check that out, I will have that somewhere in either my main page or in the description if you want to show him some love. But yeah, so basically I have a job opportunity over there, and I've been waiting, and I guess it's the weekend, so the guy said that he had to reschedule my interview. So that's not a thing right now. So I remember I was at work, and I was telling my friend about what was happening, and she was like, oh, you know, she was so supportive. She's like, I'm gonna miss you, but like, you know, this is the best for you, like going over to Alex, you guys are finally finding something. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, you know, and I'm trying to like get myself not stressed out about the whole situation. And when I get stressed out, I overthink, I talk faster, I start like crying, like it's just awful, you know what I'm saying? And so Alex has like a couple of jobs that he's going through right now that are being interviewed by him. So he has a lot of decisions to make. I have decisions to make. And I'm like sitting here and I'm like, you know what? I just need to go for a walk. So I'm at work and I go for a walk, and I go into the Shoppers, and I'm like, okay, let me just grab some water. And I always grab like that, like 1 liter water bottle, because like your girl needs to drink water. I remember going into Alex's, and they had like a fridge that had like that automatic water tapper thing, and when I kept pressing it, it like made the entire fridge like rattle, and it was so scary. And I guess it started to like break, and I don't want to say it was my fault, but I feel like I'm the only one that uses it. So it's scaring me, but I know that the fridge is a little older, so I'm just gonna like leave that and just not say anything. And Alex, if you're watching this, it wasn't me. It just wasn't me. It's an older fridge. Come on, like you know. Anyway, so I remember being there for like a couple days, and I couldn't have water, and I was like, bruh. I felt so dehydrated. I felt tired. I felt so weird, because like all I drink is just water, and it's not like a health thing or like, oh, I just want to be really healthy. I'm just like, nah, girl. Like I just like water. I like the taste of water. Not Dasani though. Dasani is disgusting. Also, I tried Vaz the other day. I don't like it. I don't like it either. It's usually like Smart Water or like Fiji or like the real Canadian one, like the water bottle. I'd take those. Those are my friends. They can be a part of my group. You know, that's what I'm saying. So anyway, I go to the Shoppers, and I get in line, and I go over, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, we're talking about money. I'm getting like, you know, nervous, whatever. Like we just got, I just saw some of like the lottery tickets, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, for Christmas, like my mom and my dad bought me and my sister lottery tickets. My dad bought me some, and then my mom bought me and my sisters. And so I won like $55, and then my sister won like $100. And I was like, oh, shoot. I'm like, that's not too bad. I'm like, maybe we can get this luck train going. I've been seeing a lot of like 333 and 1111. I'm like, oh, angel numbers. Okay, you know what? Let's get a lottery ticket. So I walk over with my water, and I've been trying to like save more money, so I just keep some like money in my like apron, just so I can use that if I have to go grab some water. And I get in line, I go up to her, and she's a little bit younger too, and I know that she's new, and I go over and I'm like, oh, hi, can I get one of those lottery tickets? And she was like, oh yeah, sure, but can I see your ID? And I'm like sitting here, and it kind of took me back for a second, because I was like, I have never been asked for my ID when getting a lottery ticket. And it's not because I look older. It's just never happened. I'm 23. Like, it kind of took me off guard for a second because I was like, wait, what? Because where I'm from, you have to be at least, I think 17 or 18 and up to buy a lottery ticket. I think it's 18. And I was like, oh, I'm working right now. Like, I just have my apron. I'm like, I don't have my ID with me. And she's like, oh, okay. She's like, yeah, because like I can't give it to you because I don't have your ID. I'm like, how old do you think I am? Like, obviously, like, I never said it like rudely. I was just kind of curious. I was like, how old do you think I am? And then she was like, oh, you look like a schoolgirl. Like, she's like, you look like you're like 16, 17. And I was like, wow. I'm like, I'm first off, flattered. Thank you. If you think that I look young, I'm like, that's good. My skincare routine is working. But I had a line of like men right behind me. And the older gentleman that was behind me, he looked at me and he goes, I can buy one for you. And he like winks at me. And I was like, no, it's okay. Like, thanks. And he's like, you know what? He's like, I'm 79, but people think I'm 59. And I was like, well, you know what, Fred, you look great. So I like sat in there and I was just like, okay, I'm like, well, I was gonna say, I'm like, well, I'm 23, but I mean, I don't have my ID with me. And she kind of like walked over and she's like, what one did you want? And I was like, look, if you are nervous about giving it to me because you think I'm young and you think you're going to get in trouble, like, I don't want to get you in trouble, so I can come back later with my ID once I'm finished work at 3, and then I can just purchase it then. And she was like, yeah, okay, like, that's a good idea, because I will get like a red flag, like, if I give it to you. And I was like, this is so weird. I'm like, okay, don't worry. I'm like, I'm 23, so I'll come back. I just don't have my ID with me. She was like, okay. So I thought it was so funny, and I like walked back and I was like, I've never been ID'd for a lottery ticket before. I'm like, well, shoot. I'm like, okay, so that's not bad. So I like walk back, and of course 3 o'clock hits and I just go straight home. I forgot to go back to go get a lottery ticket. So this girl is probably like at work and she's like, ha, got her this time. Like, I'm like, no, so I want to go back. I want to make sure I go back and make sure that she is there when she is working, so that I know and she knows that I'm above the age of for buying lottery tickets. I am 23 years old. So I just thought it was really funny, and I've never been like that before. Like, I've never had my ID taken from me. I remember one time I was with my friend and she wanted to go to like a store to grab something for like another friend. And I'm like, I don't want to go in there because like, you know, it's like where people buy juice, you know, like Sims juice. Yeah, like they wanted me to go with them. And I'm not like, I don't like drinking. That's not my thing. And so I like went over with her, and they like both looked at me and they looked at her, and I'm just like, at that time I was young and I was like, I shouldn't be here right now. I'm like, I don't want to be here. So the lady comes up, she like grabs her thing. I think it was like for her mom or something. And I walk there with her, and I'm like standing there, and I was holding it, and she's like, no, don't hold it. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, they'll ask you for your ID. And I was like, oh shoot. I'm like, okay. So I'm like with her, and then she like looks at me, and then she's like, ID. And I go, I'm just here with a friend. She's like, I need your ID. And I was like, but I'm not buying it. And she was like, I still need it. And then I was like, oh no. So it was a whole thing. We had to bring it back. I don't even know what happened, but I wasn't even supposed to be there in the first place. So it was just awful. I've never had that happen to me. And I've just like never been like one to like go out and buy those things. So I thought it was really funny, out of anywhere, to get my ID from getting a lottery ticket. I thought there was like a certain age limit to buy those things. Didn't know that you had to get your ID to buy a lottery ticket. I didn't know. I guess I'm just not with the times, I guess. Like, I think even when I was like in high school and my friends would want to go places that, like, you know, like you would go to like a party or something like that, or like a club, or people would go to that, I was like, never really about that. I like being alone. I like being a homebody. I don't mind being by myself. And I think it's like really funny when my boyfriend is like, when we move out, he's like, you're gonna need me. you know what? I'm gonna need some space. And I was like, boy, I'm like, who are you talking about? I'm like, I need some space. I'm like, I will have my own room. You have your own room. We'll sleep in one room, but I will be in my room for the majority of the day. Please don't bug me. Like, and it's so bad because my friends love them to death. But like when they're like, oh my gosh, we need to plan something together. We need to go out for dinner together with all of us. We have to go to like an arcade or something. In the moment, or like in the heat of the moment, I'm always like, oh yeah, totally, let's go. Like I would have so much fun. And as I'm like talking with them, I'm like, okay, we'll do it this day. That day rolls around, right? And the more and more I think about it, the less and less I want to be there. Like, never ever, like, I don't even care really who you are. It just happens. And I don't mean it to. And it's not because I don't want to hang out with you. It's just, I want to be alone. It's so bad, but I like being alone. And it's really funny because like the day will come and I'm like, oh, you know, like I got somewhere to be. You know, I live really far. Oh, it's snowing where I am. The roads are really bad. Like it's really bad. So I can't go. I'm so sorry. Next time, you know. And there'll be like 3 others. So like I know that I'm not just like bailing on one person. They can't go. Like there's a bunch of them. If it's one person, I'll go. But like if it's like a whole bunch of people, I'm like, nah, you guys go. It's okay. You guys have fun without me. I'll be with y'all in spirit, okay? And it's so funny. The places that they do take me, if I feel like I'm gonna be unsafe there or something bad might happen, I always text my parents. Like I will always tell them where I'm gonna be. I tell them what time I'm there, what time I leave, like what time, if I'm almost home. And it's just because I get worried because if something happens to me and they don't know where I am, if they thought that I was at my friend's house and say they went out somewhere and then something happened to us and they go to my friend's house and I'm not there, there's something wrong. Like I remember my best friend wanting to go to a club one time, and I was with her and her friend, and they were like, okay, let's go. And I'm like, okay, let me just like text my mom really quick and tell her that we're going there. And they're like, oh, why would you tell her that? Because like, you know, maybe she'll say no and then we can't go. And I'm like, no, because if something happens, she knows where I am. And so like I told her and she was like, no, like, okay, go have fun. She's like, but be safe. Thank you for telling me where to go. Because I asked her, I was like, can I go with them? And I think as kids, if you're watching or you're older and like you're in high school and your friends are starting to do that, I just want to tell you, girl, or boy, tell your parents where you're going. Tell someone in your family, even your sibling, if they can just like at least know where you are just in case something happens. Because if something happens, they know where you are. They know if you get hurt, they know who to call. Like they know if you're at a building, they can get a hold of that number's building and then like that number of that building and they can go call them. Then they can come over, you know? So if something happens, it's just the right thing to do. And even if you're worried about like your parents saying no, at least like you asked, you know? Like I feel like if you ask your parents where you're gonna go, then they're more enticed to be like, okay, at least I know where you are. A lot of times they might say no, but it's kind of like if you do something bad and you tell them right away, you're less likely to like get like ripped apart, you know what I'm saying? So you know what, it's best to do that too. A little life lesson with Simspiration. I'm sorry, I don't know how we got to this point, but you guys can see we are still, I have a hard time talking about the build, but we're there. We're starting to see it all come together. I am surprised by myself because I literally did every single apartment room in there, and sometimes I usually, when it comes to these like apartments, I notice that I actually like leave parts out and I don't finish every single thing on that lot when it comes to like rooms. But no, I did, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rooms that you can choose from, and I like the way it turned out. I thought it was really cute. I think there was one apartment room that I didn't realize that I had a light in front of the door. And I think if you guys if you guys are really watching, you might have seen that. So you might need to move that away. But if you guys want to download this build, it is going to be up on my gallery, and my name and everything will be in the description down below. If you guys want to see the pictures and like the nice ones, like the aesthetic pleasing looking photos, you guys can follow me on my Instagram or my Simstagram. I don't know what words we all calling it. It's just Instagram. You know what I'm saying? But my name on everything will be down below. So hopefully you guys can follow me on there. We just passed over 1,000 on Instagram, and we are almost at 8,000 here on YouTube, and I am so freaking excited. I hope that you guys stay tuned for more builds and more videos from me. I want to do a lot more challenge videos that are coming up. I think the next one that I want to do is it's trying to do like a build just by memory, and that's gonna be awful because your girl's had 4 concussions and I have a terrible memory. So can't wait to see how that turns out. And yeah, I do a lot of room builds on Instagram, the ones that you won't see here on YouTube. So if you guys want to see some content that doesn't show all of my stuff here on YouTube, come check me out on Instagram. But yeah, if you guys like this video, maybe please consider like, commenting, and subscribing. Thank you all so much for the new people that have come to the channel. If you guys are new here, hi, how are you? My name is Jamie. I'm also known here as Simspiration here on YouTube, and I try my best to post every twice a week, and I definitely want to be posting a lot more. So if you want to see more, again, please consider like, commenting, and subscribing. And yeah, I guess you guys can see the rest of the build. Okay, bye guys.